Da, 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 da. Well, ladies and gentlemen, little disclaimer. First off, I'm making this video now, but I'll probably not be posting it until the end of the year, and I might even reshoot it if in the last 2 weeks of the year I see anything else. But this is it, folks. So if I have less hair, I'm gonna get my hair cut. It's this. This is why I shot this before. But essentially, I just wanted to get this out of the way. This has been a great year. 2021. It's been uncommonly great. In fact, to trim a good almost half the movies I saw this year so far are pretty much could go on the best of list. And I might just not even trim it. I might just, for once, just make it really long. Just read them off. Just unrank them. Just read off who made it, who directed it, and put a playlist up. Because I can't trim it. There's been a lot of great movies this year. However, along with having way more than 10 good movies this year, I've also had way more than 10 bad movies this year. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. The awards you don't want to get. The stink piles. The pieces of shit. The awful, awful movies. What you're about to hear is 16 movies and one 20-minute dishonorable mention that are the types of time wasters that make you go, maybe I should give Artemis Fowl another chance, or maybe I could go to the dentist instead of this. Maybe I could look at a blank wall for 2 hours instead of this. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. This is it. This is the worst movies of 2021. The worst of the worst. They just suck. Every single one of these movies. And we are going to list them. There's 16 main ones and a dishonorable mention. Let's do the dishonorable mention first. The dishonorable mention goes to a movie that isn't a movie. That movie is, because it's only 20 minutes long, and that movie is Cool Cat Fights Coronavirus. Dishonorable mention. It would be on the list if it added an hour to its runtime, but it unfortunately did not. Screw Daddy Derek. Screw his filmmaking. Screw his, his copyright striking ass. I'm not using your footage, Derek, even though I could. It's fair use. Regardless, this movie's bad. This movie is, and it's indoctrinate, and thank God that it's not actually going to be shown in schools because it indoctrinates children, because it's so poor, because it indoctrinates children to be anti-maskers. This movie is not only bad, it's downright dangerous. Don't show this to your children. This is a very, 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 very bad movie. This is the kind of movie made by someone who's very misinformed. Don't watch Cool Cat Fights Coronavirus. Don't give this guy money. Yes, I'm going to watch Cool Cat Stops the School Shooting, but only because I'm invested now. Half this movie are two of the shrillest, I'd call them rap songs, except the fact that they're not really raps. One by Cool Cat and one by his enemy Dirty Dog. It's atrocious. It's really bad. It's not. And because Jason Johnson is no longer Cool Cat and now Daddy Derek is basically every role, it's just pathetic. It's sad. It's not even fun anymore. Go away. Alright. That being said, let's begin. The worst of 2021. Let's do it. Let's kick it. Alright. The bottom will be the least bad. The top will be the most bad. So let's get this going. Alright. Number 16. I wanted to pick for the first movie, the one that's the lowest on my list, the movie that I think is the closest I could say one of these movies being a legitimately good movie. But one that my issues with it go beyond more superficial kind of shit within it. And number 16 is Don't Breathe 2. Now, the reason I picked Don't Breathe 2 is, one, I love the first Don't Breathe. It's not even the content. I love a good exploitation horror flick. It's my jam. There are going to be a couple on my best of list this year. I have no problem with guts and gore and nihilistic attitudes and vulgarity in horror films. One of my favorite movies of all time is Grindhouse, alright? Like, I can handle scuzzy stuff. My issue is, the first movie had a terrific twist that made what they wanted to do with this sequel and with the main character impossible to pull off. which is to turn someone who, spoiler for Don't Breathe, is a murderer, but also a rapist who holds women against their will and inseminates them. Which is not a bad twist when it's the villain, and when you want, like, Jane Levy and Dylan Met to take care of them. But in this movie, they try to pull a T2 and turn the blind man, Norman Nordstrom, into some kind of anti-hero. And despite the best efforts, it is a well-acted film. It is an action-packed film. Has some clever ideas in it. But the problem is, the way the filmmakers choose to approach that sensitive material is to basically double down on the would-be villain's cruelty, making them basically people who steal organs from defenseless children, to somehow, including their own child, to somehow make it so that the bad guy, and it really just left me feeling sick to my stomach. I couldn't help it. It just was one of those movies where it's kind of like what Roger Ebert said in Child's Play 2 about the head and the heart. My head was telling me, yes, this is a very action-packed film, this is delivering the goods, but my heart was like, this is just ugly. I didn't like it. So, Don't Breathe 2 is my number 16. We're going to have to go through these a little quicker. Number 15 is a movie that really is not a movie, and that is a movie that actually has good elements in it, but the bad elements in it are so reprehensible that I couldn't give it a pass, and that is Show Me the Father. This was a documentary about, Christian documentary from the Kendrick brothers, that about 20 minutes of it is actually a pretty good movie, weirdly enough. There's like a 20-minute little story that kind of doubles back on another story that really works. But the problem is, as I said very much, it was kind of a rant in my review of it. It's also promoting a very, very, very wrong-headed, bigoted felt at his organization that who is anti-LGBTQ, and I just really could not support that movie. As much as I admit that there are things in it that work, it's just not a good movie. The next three we can kind of blow through, because they are essentially the so bad it's good movies. So yeah, number 15 is Show Me the Father again. Alright. Okay. Number 14. Starting on the so bad it's good movies. The Unholy. The Unholy is an Unholy Mess. Another movie from Sam Raimi this year that did not work for me. Luckily, he did do one movie that ended up on my best of list, but it's so dreadful. It's just so bad, but not in the way you want it to. It's not well acted. It's not scary. It's not well acted. And its cast is way too good for it. Like, it's all these character actors that should know better, like Katie Aselton and Carrie Elwes and Jeffrey Dean Morgan, and it's just, why are they there? It's just not good, but it is hilarious, and I bonded with some rowdy teenagers for once in a movie, so that was fun. Number 13 is the best bad horror movie of the year, and that's Separation. A movie that I very memorably got some commenters in public, people who watched my video, who I know, who said that it had one of my best sort of sarcastic put-downs, and that I said that the scene where he goes on his little vision quest, Rupert Friend's character, I wanted the psychic woman from, played by Lynn Shay from Insidious, to run up, bitch slap him, and tell him he's wrong. This movie's awful. Has one of the funniest scenes of the year unintentionally, where little Violet McGraw is crying, stop fighting, as his dad is tussling with her ghost mother. This movie sucks. Separation is hilariously bad. It's worth watching, it's so bad. Number 12 is the best bad movie of 2021, and it came out only a few weeks ago, and it's a movie that I got a like and a follow on Letterboxd from the film's director, David Wolfgang, and that is True to the Game Part 3, or True to the Game 3 is my number 12. What a piece of shit, but what an entertaining piece of shit. I was dreading it, honestly, because it's the same producer as another movie that'll be much later on my list, but oh my god, Please make part 4. I know the trilogy's over, but I've never seen the first two, but this movie was hilarious. Alright, number 11. We might have to make a part 2. In fact, that's what we're going to do for the top 10. Number 11 is the most forgettable movie of the year. A movie that I think I said half my lines in my review were, well, that was a movie, I suppose. Also the qualified cast, and that was Spirit Untamed. A movie that was literally a pilot episode blown up to the big screen with a different voice cast. That is exactly what it is. It's not good. It's forgettable. I've already, other than it being about a little girl and a horse and the mom dying and Jake Gyllenhaal acting his little voice acting heart out, I really could not remember a damn thing about that movie. So, number 11, Spirit Untamed. What a terrible sin to not even remember you. Alright. We'll be back for part 2 of the top 10 worst films of the year, of the top 16 rather, worst films of 2021. That'll all be next time, and until next time, I'm Grant, the movie and TV guy. I see it all, I'm happy to share it with you, and I'll see you in part 2. Take care.